Hi everyone, and welcome to the first e-commerce for retail webinar. My name's Tammy and I'm the digital marketing exec at Retail NZ. This webinar is chapter 1 of our full in-person workshop called E-commerce for Retailers, and we're just really keen to see retailers thrive post-lockdown, and strengthening your e-commerce is really important as part of the mix. So let's get started. So e-commerce isn't just the future, it's right now. According to Retailing Now, which is Retail NZ's industry report, Kiwis spent $4.2 billion online in 2018, so that's up from $3.6 billion in 2017. That's a 16% e-commerce growth, while bricks and mortar only grew 2% in that time. So more recently, spending with New Zealand online retailers was up 24% in March compared to last year, obviously boosted by the higher spending on groceries and liquor. So during level 4 and level 3 lockdown, and now we're at level 2, we really want to look at what habits will continue into level 2 and beyond. It's likely that people who weren't in the habit of online shopping are now giving it a go, which can create new shopping habits for those who might not have considered it in the past. So according to Google Trends, the top 3 e-commerce terms searched in New Zealand in the past month have been online shopping, Shopify, and website. So let's just take a moment and think about the implications of this from a business owner perspective. So there are several areas of optimizing your online store for success, including optimizing your web's navigation, which is what we'll be covering today, doing an SEO audit so that your customers can find you when they search for what they want and what they need, social media and content marketing for capturing leads, using your customer data and your insights to reach out and segment your customer base, run targeted ads, and just create a really great customer journey. So for example, you could target abandoned carts and run recovery campaigns. And of course, as you would do in store, you can upsell and cross-sell and add value to the shopping experience. So today we'll be focused on optimizing your store's online navigation and how to get your online store experience as easy to use as possible for your customers. E-commerce site navigation should help shoppers find your products quickly and easily, and this will just be the backbone of your website, showing shoppers what's most relevant to them. Sites are abandoned quickly if a user finds them difficult to use. So over the next half an hour, I'll be running through e-commerce 101. I find that even if you already have an online shop, it's really good to be refreshed on the basics. So we'll be looking at basics and best practice, mobile optimization, and navigation. So let's jump in. So be sure to do a quick audit of your website and make sure you've got the fundamentals. First off, direct is best. Your theme, your home page, your product pages, and any of the interior pages should be simple and direct. You don't want to clutter your home page with every product that you're selling. You can highlight 2 or 3 of your most popular products, or you can even take your all-time bestseller and use it as a hero image, front and center, with a clear call to action. So you want your visitors to be immediately exposed to your most popular offering, which increases the chance that they'll convert from just a visitor to someone who's actively making a purchase. Over on the contact page, the same principle goes. Simplicity is key. It should include your phone number, your address, your email address, and also a contact form so people can reach out to you. Make sure that the contact form goes to an email account that's actively monitored. This way you can respond to your customers as fast as possible. Now with your About Us page, this shouldn't just be a boring factual history about when your company was founded and what you're selling. This is your chance to share your journey in a compelling nutshell and inspire your customers to join your mission. You could be someone that sources from local suppliers, or someone who is really environmentally sustainable, or maybe you're really passionate about every unique piece in your store and the story that goes behind it. So your About Us page should be authentic and clear, and it should really speak to your target customers and just resonate with them. And it's really a good time to put your best foot forward. With product names, it's a common mistake for e-commerce site owners to overcomplicate naming their products. So unless you have lots of experience in naming products, you should stick to clear names and don't make it too convoluted. For example, here we have the brand name, Ashley & Co, followed by what the item is, a perfumed candle. So a simple and boring name for a great product will still generate tons of sales, but the wrong name could destroy it. And with the product name, there's the product description. Here's the standard structure that I'd recommend for a product description. You want to identify the problem that the product solves, and then just paint a picture of what life would be like once the product is sold, and describe how the product solves those problems and what features make this possible. So every product on your e-commerce site should have a unique product description. This is essentially a short elevator pitch, and you want to be concise, you want to communicate clearly, and as always, put yourself in your customer's shoes. With that being said, not every product solves a problem. So clothing and decorative homeware, they're prime examples. If you're selling a stylish dress, people are buying it to make themselves feel confident. Maybe they're expressing their identity. So your product description should be less about the product itself and more about how the item makes the customer feel. So that's more about that bullet point 2, describing the experience. Product photo. So a picture really is worth 1,000 words. You can't rely on descriptions alone to sell your products. So if you're not in the position to work with a professional photographer, or if you don't have your own studio, have a look at what you can do and be resourceful. For example, here we've got this Melbourne restaurant called Tyranny of Distance. And I noticed that they created a studio with just a piece of paper, a phone, a lamp, and some tinfoil. And you can really capture the products from every angle, show it in action. So if you're selling hiking boots, you can show someone on a hiking trail. If you're selling a winter coat, you can take a photo of someone just wearing it outside in the chilly autumn air. You can also take videos of the products, and this is a perfect way to demonstrate the way the product is supposed to be used if it can't just be shown in a photo alone. So here we have Behemoth's product in situ on the website with a very short description and key details. It's short, it's sweet, it's to the point, and it's clear. Now you want to keep your branding consistent with your store aesthetic. Here are some handy free web tools. So there's Hatchful, which is a really easy way to whip up a logo. There's Canva, which is an easy graphic design website. If you do want to invest in something a little bit advanced, there's always Adobe Photoshop or InDesign, or a free web-based option of Photoshop is Pixlr. So it's a simplified version of Photoshop. If you want an offline version, there's also GIMP. Their quality is a little bit rougher than Photoshop, but it is free. I'll email these resources to you afterwards in your toolkit. So you want to include photos of your store in action. You want to take beautiful photography of your store. On top of showcasing your store on your website, it also just has the practical element of showing your customers what your store looks like on the outside, and it just makes it easier for them to find you. So those are the basic building blocks for your online shop. Now let's look at how we can put it all together for your e-commerce. Mobile optimization. So your site must be optimized for mobile, and any web designer worth their salt will know that designing from the mobile up is key. That means considering your mobile navigation first and then scaling up to your web navigation second. So you want to make sure that you have the key parts of what you offer easily found on your mobile website before you consider your desktop experience. And it's much easier to scale up from mobile than squish it down from desktop. And your mobile optimization will differ from site to site. So this section will just give you a few key areas to focus on. Now, a lot of online transactions are now completed through mobile, and this number just continues to grow. And using the Google free mobile friendly test is a really good way to get your site ranking for mobile. All you need to do is visit the website, which I will include in the resources kit, paste your website URL, and it will generate a ranking for you. And if you're not mobile friendly, it's much harder to rank highly on a Google search. And so just to give you an idea of the importance of mobile optimization, there's a clothing store called Merchology, and within 2 months of them doing their mobile relaunch, their mobile conversions grew by 40% and their revenue per device year on year, 340%. First off, you want to make everything that is clickable tappable. So a tappable target of 45 to 57 pixels will be good for fingers, and then for thumbs you want to use 72 pixels. Most people use their thumbs when they're using a mobile phone. For example, over here we've got Lush on the left, and it has a big clear add to cart button that you can access with one tap, and it doesn't need to be expanded. And over on the right, we've got Ico, and you can access the brief description with just one tap of a button. Also, keeping your products to 2 columns is the best convention, so that you don't clutter your mobile site. Again, the principle of keeping it simple is really important. Screens on mobile devices are smaller than PCs. You don't have a lot of space for lengthy descriptions. So you really want to provide the essential content and keep it clean, uncluttered, and hide anything unnecessary. And you want to make your navigation simple as well. So you might not have all the space to include all the menu items, but there is a really good way to do things that is proven popular, which is the hamburger symbol. It's the 3 horizontal lines that you may have seen on a lot of mobile websites and apps, and you ideally want this positioned on the top left-hand side of your screen, and you want it to stay there throughout your site so that your customer can jump in and out of other categories wherever they are on your site. So for example, here we have Country Roads mobile site versus PC, and you can see that their navigation bar has been condensed into that hamburger on the top left. Another example here, we've got Mighty Ape, and they've got a multi-leveled mobile menu. So by selecting one category, you can then be taken to another menu to refine your search. And so this is really useful if you've had a lot of stock, and it's just a great way to organize your stock and help make sense of your website for your customers. Optimizing your images. So this is key. If your images are specifically uploaded for mobile, it will load much faster, it will be much clearer. Although in saying that, platforms like Shopify are already fully optimized for mobile. But if you're not on one of those platforms, there's apps that can help you streamline this process. So let me know if this is something you're interested in doing if you're not working with Shopify or other platforms like Squarespace and Ecommerce, and I can send you some resources. So that's how to optimize your website for mobile, and let's move over and dive into the tried and tested navigation conventions. So this will help you meet your customers' expectations and make it easier for them to get to the point of conversion, that virtual checkout. You want to use meaningful labels. The top level of navigation should include a set of general product category labels, and often this is just one single word, and it could be organized by product category or use or theme, just whatever makes most sense to the type of products that you stock or the services that you deliver. And the simpler, the better. Oh, it's really important to test your top level navigation with a focus group. So this can even just be your friends and family. You can ask them where they think a product should be sitting, and they should be able to do this instinctively by quickly scanning the home page. So this website is a Kiwi retailer called Little and Loved. They stock a broad range of products for children, and they've broken down their top-level navigation into terms which can easily be relatable to their target audience of parents. And so they've got labels that identify use, like play or eat and drink, and it's a really nice way to organize their products rather than splitting it out into drink bottles, lunchbox, etc., and splitting it out at that level. And it just makes for a cleaner and more simplified top-level navigation. So it's likely that you have products which fit into multiple categories. You don't need to choose one over the other. A shopper might get to the product that they're looking for in very different ways, just depending on the individual shopper. So you really want to list and relist within the appropriate top-level categories to help your shoppers find what they're looking for. This won't clutter your navigation, as again, it'll just sit within that main top-level navigation. So for example, here we've got Mitre 10, and they have a large detailed top-level navigation for bathroom and plumbing. But they also have included a smaller menu for bathroom under indoors. This is because it makes sense for bathrooms to sit reasonably within either product category. You really want to make your top-level navigation clickable. So shoppers expect for that top-level nav in any headings within the drop-down or the flyout menu to be active and have active clickable links. So you might want to have a look at this example over here with Glassons. If you don't know what dress you're looking for, you don't know if you want a casual dress or a party dress, you have the option to look at all the dresses without having the pressure of selecting a type. Now, sticking to tried and tested successful design conventions. It can be fun to generate a unique and unusual form of website navigation, but for e-commerce, it's often best to just follow common design and navigation conventions. So conventions like including your logo at the top of the page and making sure that wherever you are on the website, you can see the logo, click on the logo and get back to the home page, the placement of your product navigation, and of course the use of the hamburger on mobile devices. So when you use successful conventions, your shoppers' expectations are met and hopefully sales follow. It can be tempting to try something new, but best rule of thumb is to just stick to what shoppers know, and it just makes for an easier shopping experience. So to a large extent, search is one of the most important tools for an e-commerce site. It should be included at the top of every page, and it should be intuitive. And the prominence of the search is an indicator of how strongly your site recommends search as a way to find products, just versus the alternative of navigating categories via the site menus. So as well as having a really prominent search bar, you want the search bar to have these key functions. You want the search to be able to be refined and filtered so that the most relevant products are shown for your shoppers. And your search should be intuitive, so correcting spelling mistakes and auto-filling within the search bar. All of these functions just makes it a really pleasant browsing experience for your shoppers. So over here on the Sleep Store's website, the search bar is prominent, appears at the top of the page on every page of their website. And with Glassons, they allow you to refine your search by oldest to newest, vice versa, category, color, size, price low to high or high to low. Over here, the website will correct your spelling. So I've misspelt blanket and they corrected it with, did you mean blanket, like with Google? And it just creates a much better experience than nothing showing up at all. It's also really important to advertise your sales and your discounts within navigation. This means as well as having your sales tab at your top level navigation, you should also list a sales subcategory within the other top level categories that they apply to. So that's just further advertising for your sale, but also it makes things more appealing and easier for your customers. So with Mighty Ape, they advertise their sales within each product categories. Under books, you can see book deals, but then they also go further to offer best-selling books, upcoming books, new release books, and clearance books. Something else that you should really include on your website is your content marketing. This is a really great way to add value to your shoppers' experience and have them spend longer on your site. So this will help you build a lasting relationship with your shoppers, and then they'll be more likely to make a purchase from your store. It's really, really important, and you can showcase content marketing via blogs and videos, and it'll increase your conversion rate. So it's definitely something that you want included on your top level navigation. So you want to push this out also via your social media channels and your email channels as well. Also, blogs are a really great place to include a ton of your search engine optimization keywords too. We'll go into SEO marketing in a future webinar in a little bit more detail. So here, the Sleep Store are great at content marketing, and they display their content marketing prominently on their homepage. So they've got under sleep advice and community, their content marketing. So when you click into sleep advice, you're offered a whole variety of information, and they're informative and they're aimed at helping parents, but they also do a few other things. They mention products which can help with the problem that the parent might be having, and they make their site just a go-to place for advice and support, which helps build a community, and customers will give them higher referral rates. So think about what content marketing you can deliver. What are you an expert in, and what can you share with your customers to get them onto your site? All right, to sum up, you want to keep your site simple, you want to plan from the mobile app, and you want to optimize your content for both mobile and PC, and use those really successful design conventions. Be sure to invest maybe half an hour just to run through and do a quick audit of your e-commerce site and make sure that you're covering all your bases. You can also take a look at some of your favorite websites and see what successful layout conventions work there. All right, let's go over to some of the questions that we might have. Cool. All right, Katie has asked, what is the right number of categories for your top level navigation? It's a really good question. It really depends on your product and your product range, but usually about 5 to 8 is that sweet spot where you're not overwhelming your customers with too much information at once. But then if you have not enough top level navigation options, then it's too many clicks for the customer to get down to what they want. And that kind of friction is where you can lose customers. Harry has asked, how do I plan web navigation? Oh, that is an excellent question. So it's easier than you think. You want to start by brainstorming the most important parts of your website, and then take out key themes and key indicators. And it's really simple to map it out visually for yourself and see what makes sense. And you don't need fancy programs for that. You can literally do it on a Word doc, have some main bullet points, and then have sub bullet points that can come out from that as your next level navigation, and then maybe even bullet points down from that. Just really map out for yourself what makes sense and give you a good overview to start to iterate from. Alternatively, you can do a flow chart, so that kind of just would look like an upside down tree. Yeah, those are just some of the ways that you can start to plan your navigation. Cool. So that is us, and if you have any other questions, I'm more than happy to answer them and publish them later on our Q&A, which we will send out later on. Yeah, so if there are any other topics that you'd like to see, please let me know. So there are several areas, again, of optimizing your online store for success. There's the SEO audit, there's social media and content marketing, there's harnessing your data and your insights to do targeted marketing, you know, abandoned carts and recovery campaigns, and also creating a really good experience, a really good personalized experience. As I mentioned before, upselling and cross-selling. Yeah, and as we've covered today, mobile optimization. So some of these topics will be rolled out in the coming weeks, but let me know in the feedback form what you'd like to see first. And yeah, thanks for taking time out of your busy business owner day to come learn about e-commerce optimization. I'll be sending out that resources toolkit, and please, again, feel free to reach out if you have any other questions, and all the best with your retailing adventures. And have a great day. I'll see you later.